Well, hello. I'm Ted Knaak, president of TopoDOT, and this is Mauricio Terneus. He's our director of product development, and we're here to welcome you to the TopoDOT 2025.1 release. As always, we're keeping the TopoDOT community at the cutting edge of productivity and performance. And the highlights of the 2025.1 are many. There are literally hundreds of changes and new tools, but we're going to bring you the highlights of those tools and tell you what's really going to change the way you work and what's going to bring you so much value and productivity. So we're going to focus on a few of the highlights. So before we start, I want to share with you some TopoDOT news. TUC 25 registration is open. TUC 25 is still the world's only conference dedicated to digital twin production from point cloud project data. You're going to learn, you're going to use firsthand and get your hands dirty with new features, new tools, and new opportunities to expand your business, improve your productivity, and really change your operations and bring them to the next level. There's also a new leadership forum. Now, what we're going to do here is we've invited some business operations, some marketing and sales, and business development people to really kind of come to TUC, and we're going to talk about how we can better organize our operations around the technology and how we can actually strategically position ourselves for success, financial success and technical success. And we've also included some, not only industry leaders from the technical side, we've invited some data consumers. And that's really a twist on this from what we used to do before. And these data consumers are actually represent municipalities. In fact, one of them here is the city of Winter Garden. And they're using the data, and they're going to share with us in the leadership forum how they're using the data, how we've actually made it easier for them to purchase the data. And I'd really work with their geospatial partners in getting the information they need and really realizing the return on investment in this technology. So please don't miss that. Look at TUC 25, and if you're in that if you're not a technical person extracting features, if you're really extracting digital twins, you should really look at that. If you're in charge of operations or you just have basically business responsibilities of P&L, this is something that will really interest you. And again, as I mentioned, we're working on some new initiatives with the City of Winter Garden, and it's going to be really, really fascinating. And of course, there's always networking events. So TUC is really a good time. We have a lot of events, and it's in addition to having a good time, you'll get to know and speak with people in the industry that are in your world, applying this technology to real world applications, and it'll really expand your horizons in so many directions. So we really like to see you here. Another big announcement is that TopoShare 2.0 is going to be due out soon. So TopoShare, as you might know, is the industry's most efficient and lowest cost data governance solution. And it's really been taking off this year. And we're really looking for the release of TopoShare 2.0 sometime after TUC 25. And the other piece of news that we really want to share with you is that our friends at Navis and Regal, especially the TLS and UAV systems, are now all support the TopoDOT image export format. So that's really exciting. Images are extremely important to digital twin production. In fact, for years, we've always said, just having images with your point cloud, the synergy between the two raises your performance by 30 or 40% in extraction of high quality digital twins, CAD topographies, 3D models, whatever you happen to be doing. So the bottom line is that's really, really important. And it's actually the return on that investment is huge. As these images show, this is a powerful feature. And so many of the TopoDOT community will fuse data from several acquisition platforms within the same project. These calibrated images are important to actually be acquired and to be delivered from every platform you have. Okay, Maddie. Well, let's get back to the main reason we're here today. And that's the release of TopoDOT version 2025.1. Well, the first tool we're going to look at is the pavement marking symbol extraction. And Maddie, I know you developed this, and I'm not just saying it because you're the guy, but I do think this is one of my favorite tools. used to watch you guys do pavement markings before, and it was kind of a single. It was semi-automated. You had to kind of show it one marking at a time, and it would find the right symbol and put it down. So it was quite functional. But now you've kind of automated it, taken it to the next level. So what I've seen is that basically you select an area road, and it finds them all automatically, orients them correctly, no problem, and it's what happens in seconds. So I think it's really exciting. I know it's going to be useful and great interest to the TopoDOT community. So let's take a look at the video, and then after that, you can tell us a little bit more about it.
Okay. TopoDOT version 2025.1 introduces the new pavement symbol extraction tool. The tool uses advanced AI to automatically detect and recognize pavement symbols within the defined region. Automatically load imagery for quick inspection and modification of extracted results. New interactive modes allow users to extract symbols in various scenarios. The Pavement Symbol Extraction tool takes you through an easy step-by-step process to create custom libraries. This allows users to integrate with existing style libraries that would be commonly found in a DOT workspace. Custom libraries are saved locally and can be shared across your organization. Download TopoDOT version 2025.1 to improve your extraction workflows.
TopoDOT offers a wide range of extraction tools, but one area we saw room for improvement was the pavement marking symbol extraction. While the flat asset tool has been available for years, user feedback showed that it was difficult to use and not as productive as it could have been. With the 2025.1 release, we gave this tool the attention it deserves, and the result is a new pavement marking extraction system that can increase your productivity by 500%. One of the biggest challenges with the old tool was managing symbol templates. Creating them was complex, and maintaining the library was extremely cumbersome. Our new system simplifies this with a guided 4-step creation process, making it easy for users to build custom libraries in no time. Once created, these libraries can be shared amongst all team members, ensuring that everyone's working across the same dataset and the same templates. The tool is powered by our latest template fitting technology, delivering faster and more reliable results than ever before. And to fit different project needs, the pavement marking symbol extraction tool offers 4 different extraction methods. So whether you prefer using our AI-powered automatic detection or you manually need to place a symbol down in those tricky areas, there's an extraction method for you. The tool also includes a comprehensive assessment system, allowing you to quickly review, validate, and adjust the extracted symbols as needed. With its improvement in speed, ease of use, and accuracy, this tool is a game changer for pavement marking extraction. So try it out and see how much time you guys can save.
Well, that was exciting, Mounty. And so the next tool we're going to look at now is the rail centerline tool. I think we started looking at centerlines, a year ago?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. And, if you look at a rail centerline and you look at it at scale, where you're looking at 10 miles, a 5-mile track, whatever, and you look at a line, you actually say, how hard could this be? And then when you dive into it and you have to reach the accuracies required by the industry, you turn out there's quite a few methods for measuring a rail centerline, first of all. You find that out, and I think Ryan was working on this one. He did a lot of investigation. He worked with our partners and our from the TopoDOT community and some experts in the field to actually explain exactly what kind of how the center lines were measured, and then as is often the case, the more we got into it, reliably extracting the best position really requires a combination of some expected and unexpected anomalies. I know Ryan really had to work on this one. I think there was just basically things that we hadn't foreseen that really had to be really worked on, and it wasn't trivial. So I think I could go into it in detail. You and I could talk about it for an hour, but we're just going to play this video, and we're going to show people how it works, and then you can talk about it and tell us a little more about it. Okay.
New in TopoDOT version 2025.1, the Rail Centerline Extraction Tool. This tool accommodates the demands of rail designers for extracting centerlines in all standard methods. In this video, we'll look at the standard placement options, which includes low rail, center rail, and high rail. The tool displays a dynamic diagram which updates in real time with each setting adjustment, offering a clear visualization of how the tool will plot the centerline. As we step through the cross sections, you can see the plotted centerlines diverging due to the defined placement modes. Download TopoDOT version 2025.1 to improve your extraction workflows.
So like Ted mentioned, there's many different techniques for extracting rail centerlines, and we wanted to ensure that our tool could handle all of them. That's why we built the rail centerline extraction tool with a set of placement options for both horizontal and vertical position referencing, giving you the flexibility to choose the best method for your needs. In addition, we've added an optional feature to smooth out the existing rail lines. This interpolates between existing vertices, giving you a more accurate representation of where the rail is between chords. This option also flags areas that exceed a specified threshold, helping you to maintain accuracy and quality in finding those problem areas.
Okay, let's talk about the random noise filter. You know that for a long time, a significant advantage of TopoDOT was that tedious cleanup of data wasn't really necessary. And that's still the case. But I really believe that many of our user community don't even realize that TopoDOT offers an extremely user-friendly and highly automated tool to eliminate and clean up what we call random noise. And random noise being those floating points that can be actually quite dense in some areas, even though they're sporadic and isolated, they can cause some distraction and even some problems in the tools, and how they work and what they find. So, if you can clean those up, is it absolutely necessary? No, but the reality is if you can clean them up and it's really easy to do, you'll find that generally your TopoDOT extraction tools will run more efficiently without those random points floating around everywhere. And typically this efficiency will more than make up for the little time you spend running this tool. And in the end, who doesn't like a clean point cloud?
TopoDOT version 2025.1 revamps the random noise filter tool. This tool is designed to efficiently remove noise or anomalies commonly found within your point cloud. For example, floating points above and below ground surface. Additionally, the tool can effectively clean up noise surrounding pavement symbology by leveraging intensity information. Utilize this tool for cleaner datasets to enhance the performance of all TopoDOT tools.
The random noise filter has always been one of my favorite tools in TopoDOT. There's nothing more satisfying than clicking a button and watching all of the unwanted noise disappear. When modernizing this tool, our goal was to preserve everything you love about it while bringing it up to the high standards of our next generation tools. To achieve this, we rebuilt it from the ground up to fully leverage all cores from your CPU for maximum performance. We added new options to ignore specific classifications, giving you more control over the point cloud data being processed. And due to high demand, we introduced batch processing, so now you can load, process, and re-export large folders of data automatically, saving you valuable time. If you have never tried this tool, I highly recommend giving it a try. The benefits are not just for the visual clarity, but like Ted mentioned, many of the tools like the pavement marking symbol extraction will perform even better when noise is removed.
Outline point clusters. Okay, well, this is a tool that's been around for a while. But I kind of look at outlining point clusters as essential in like feeding downstream CAD operations with a lighter model of a cluster of points. So the bottom line is engineers all tell you, I don't want a point cloud. And then when you have a cluster of points, what do you really do with it? It's it's there, but there's not much intelligence associated with it. It's just there. So one good example that's always kind of used is like vegetation is a good example. So a part of a tree encroaching within a defined corridor can be classified as a collection of points. And that's, we have tools that find that. You can move a profile down a corridor and we'll classify and highlight those clusters. But this clusters aren't really easily interpreted within a CAD or GIS environment. That's the issue. And you have to get out of TopoDOT and you have to feed your downstream operations, right? So, but so what we do automatically in TopoDOT now is like you have a vectorized outline surrounding those points, and you can identify it and attach information that this is a tree cluster or something else, whatever it happens to be. And that's easily ingested by downstream CAD or GIS platforms. I think it's actually not hard to put that out in a more ubiquitous Google Earth environment, or with any kind of, you can export that to anything really, and kind of take a look at it and see it on your phone, and you can get to those, and you can get that information to people that need to take some action out in the field. So it doesn't seem as sexy as some of the other tools, but it's very, very useful.
TopoDOT version 2025.1 revamps the Outline Point Cluster tool. This tool automatically creates outlines for point clusters, such as tree canopies and vegetated areas, leveraging new filtering and preview options to ensure accuracy and efficiency. Area, height, and total volume is calculated automatically for each cluster of data. Download TopoDOT version 2025.1 to improve your extraction workflows.
The Outline Point Clusters tool is built on the same technology as our random noise filter, ensuring fast processing by leveraging all of your CPU cores. Compared to the previous version, you'll also find new options for cluster isolation, plotting, previewing, and defining the complexity of the outline shapes. Whether you're analyzing tree canopies, encroachment, or clash detection, having localized spatial outlines of these areas is essential for your deliverables, so be sure to check it out.
All right, Matty, well, on to path deviation. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think we first developed path deviation to compare a design alignment against an actual road point cloud. And so, it's interesting that nothing is built perfectly, and you always kind of need a reference to measure against or measure the point cloud against. And the path deviation tool really kind of fills that gap. So it's always necessary to see how close an as-built structure is to a design, or maybe something extracted from the point cloud, and you're representing as a line, and you compare that to the ground or something, or some other surface. There's just it's a very versatile tool, and there's a multiple of applications for it. So, keeping in mind that a path can model any existing or virtual feature, we found so many applications for this. It's really an interesting tool. And so we'll look at this one a little bit, and you can tell us a little bit more about it.
Introducing TopoDOT's Path Deviation tool on the updated TopoDOT interface. The tool will calculate deviations from a line to the data automatically. It can be used in applications such as measuring guardrail height or settlement monitoring found within walls and roads. This tool provides an intuitive way to visualize results via spreadsheet reports and a user-defined color scheme. Deviation can also be represented as dimensional elements, with colors matching the exported reports for consistency. Download TopoDOT version 2025.1 to improve your extraction workflows.
Whether you're verifying that guardrails meet AASHTO requirements or analyzing deviations between extracted line work to the point cloud, we've modernized the path deviation tool to make the process as smooth and efficient as possible. Along the way, we added some new functionality, including the ability to plot dimension elements and station labels for better visualization of the results. We've also introduced support for open roads alignments, making integration with your existing projects even easier. And for our advanced users, you now have the flexibility to customize the generated reports by editing the language packs available inside of the TopoDOT directory.
Okay, Maddie, so that's a wrap for the highlights of TopoDOT version 2025.1. We encourage everyone to download the latest TopoDOT version and to take some time to become acquainted with these exciting features. If you're working on roadways, using the new pavement marking symbol extraction is a must. If you're working on rail, nothing calculates centerline like the highly automated rail centerline tool. And of course, everyone needs higher performance versions of the random noise filter, outline point cluster, and path deviation tools. They're just going to change everything and really kind of accelerate your productivity. So, Maddie, people want to learn a little bit more about the tools, I mean, obviously they'll need more information than what we're giving them here. What do they do? Where can they go? How do they do it?
So we've got a vast library of documentation available on our website. You can find videos and detailed instructions on how to use any tool by just going into that particular tool and pushing the F1 key. So on top of that, you can also access the changelog for our entire release in the wiki as well. So,
yeah, I've been to the wiki. I have to look. I have to admit, I don't do a lot of TopoDOT processing these days, although I enjoy it when I do. And then I know there's like videos there. There's basically every parameter is described as to what it does. And of course, you know, if you still need help after that, you know where to find us during pretty much working hours here in Orlando, Florida. We're here. And then we have actually help in Europe and around the world. So please, you know, if you're applying tools and you run into a bit of a problem, have a question, we're here for you. Okay, so now, in addition to that, got to tell you, I just want to remind you again, TUC 25 is around the corner. And, you know, really, you'll find, and it's been a typical experience for any attendees at TUC, that they'll increase their productivity by 2, 3, 4 times. So it's definitely worth the investment. And it's a conference like no other. So please, you know, think about it. Mark May 5th to 9th in your on your calendar. And we hope to see you here in Orlando. And just remember, everybody has data challenges. We know you all do. You guys know you all do. So please, we have a solution. And by the way, you own the solution. This solution is free. TopoShare is available to you as a TopoDOT user. So really, give us a call, learn more about TopoShare. TopoShare 2.0 will be here soon, but TopoShare 1.0, the one you have now, has been meeting the data governance challenge for years. So if you have a stack of hard drives on your desk, give us a call. We'll solve that problem for you. And for those of you with Navis systems and Regal systems and others, you know, make sure you export the images of TopoDOT. Make sure you download the latest version of their software so that you can export calibrated imagery and really increase your productivity, increase the quality of your deliverables. And if you don't mind, send us a few of those images. You know, we're always excited to hear from you, and we really like seeing how you're applying not only, you know, TopoDOT, but the data from these extremely amazing systems to meet your customers and your clients' requirements. So, Melody, I think we're finished here. It's been fun, as always. And we're going to just pass this over to JP and Ryan for questions. So thanks to everyone who's attended. And if someone didn't get a chance, please, you know, tell everybody, you know, it was great, and, you know, pass on the link. And we hope to hear from you soon, and perhaps see you at TUC 25 in the very near future. And with that, I'll just say, take it away, JP and Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan Knaak. I'm John Paul, and we're part of the product development team, and we're here to answer your questions. So we'll start from the first and then go up that way. Feel free to send more questions to the Q&A portion or the chat, and then we'll make sure to get to them.
Okay, so the first question is from Olaf Goder. Is it possible to keep the first or last endpoint in the tool draped to data? That is actually in the pipeline. It wasn't able to make it in this release, but for the next release, there should be an option that it will. So there's already an option to keep the endpoints where they are and not drape them. But I'll be adding a new option that will detect any place that it is connected to a line. And if it's connected to a line on another vertex, then it won't drape that vertex. It'll leave it there. So that's been asked for, so it should be really useful. Also from Raul Balanza, What is the intended use case for the screen plane elevation mode? So the use case for it is really to make it easier to understand what the depth is. So when you're looking at something, especially from top view, it's a 2D screen, but it's in a 3D view. It's hard to tell if there's something that is above the road, above what are trees and what is grass. So this way it colors it, so it's really easy to understand what that is when you're working with it, and it also is pretty.
Next question from Bodhi Kirori. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Does TopoDOT have any autonomous power line inspection software or AI data processing, or plan to develop both in the near future? So I'm not quite sure what the power lines inspection software aspect of it. We focus more on the asphalt conditions of power lines. So we do have a lot of tools for automatically vectorizing power lines, doing analysis like clearances, sag, and things like that. But if you're looking to do any sort of like pole loading or pole analysis and things like that, we don't have tools for that. But if it is something that you would like to see and there's a traction in the market, it might be something that we can look into in the future. Next question is, when will we be able to enter and edit automated distresses manually in the Pavement distress tool? So this is a request that has been made in the past and is currently in our pipeline. That tool is currently on the older format of the tools, kind of like that white look and feel. Once we get to rewriting that tool and improving it into the latest framework that we're using, we're going to add all of those features. Hopefully it'll be something like they automatically pick all the distress, and then you can come in kind of like as a QC to edit the metadata embedded in that distress if you want to. The other tool from Joel Lapan, have there been any improvements to the auto asset identification tool or any plan in the near future? So we have added new features to that tool lately, smaller features like the ability to be able to sort your assets based on a station line. So you can open up the auto detect panel, right click on that panel, and select a line and sort the assets based on that line. So basically the workflow would be you have a trajectory line from either imagery or you have a stationing line. You auto detect all the assets and then you sort them so that you can walk along that line and look around at those assets and then pick up anything that the tool didn't. In terms of let's say using some sort of like computer vision or imagery, we are looking into that, and maybe we'll continue to improve the tool in the future. Alex also asked a question about TopoShare. When will TopoShare be available for self-hosting instead of AWS? If you are referring to TopoDOT hosting the data for you, we plan to do that with the new TopoShare 2.0, where we'll have a TopoDOT hosted version, which basically is still using AWS, but we'll have the AWS hosted for you, so you don't have to go through the IT hurdles that comes to with. However, if you're asking for like a network store or like your own storage in-house, we do support using TopoShare and point it to a network drive if you have the data there, but it won't be compatible with TopoShare Enterprise, so just keep that in mind. So outside of our cloud solutions for storage, we also support networks. It's just that the limitation with Enterprise.
This one's in Spanish, so.
Yeah, I guess this one's in Spanish, so I'll do my best to translate the question and answer it. Miguel Melendez, he's asking a question about line of sight from point clouds. So I'm guessing if we have some tools related to line of sight and point clouds, that we do. We have two tools at the moment. one tool that lets you check the line of sight and see if there's any obstruction by classifying the point cloud data between 2 points. It basically just creates a cylinder between the 2 points or a cone, and it looks at the point clouds inside of that shape. We also have a tool, a more automated tool called the stopping sight distance tool. It basically checks line of sight along a path at a specified distance along it, and then it checks if there's any obstruction.
Okay. Emily Kulig asked, does the random noise filter need a minimum of 2 LAS files for it to run against each other? Or can this be done in a single point cloud file? So for the random noise filter, it can be run on one LAS file or one point cloud file. It doesn't require a difference of points. Now, a very similar tool would be the random car removal, the random moving vehicle removal tool, and that does require more than one file that's going to be delineated either by the file itself or by the point source ID, so that will require that. But for just the random noise, you don't have to have more than one file. Jeremy Hellman asked, is 2025.1 a free update to existing users? Yes, it is, as long as you are up to date on your payments. And Jeremy Hellman also asked, can you import a point cloud limited to a polygon area, a fenced area? Yes. So if you have a fence and then you load, you can have the option to load from fence. So if you have your icons, if you have your icons for your point cloud files loaded, then you can just click load from fence, and then that will load it from the fence. You can also make a fence and then load it from the file where you go into the directory and then choose the files to load from. And then if you have a fence active, that will automatically only load it in the fence. And I think there's a second part to that question. When running the cross-section point-to-point tool with a small data thickness, how do we get the full data set back after closing the tool without doing show all points? What you want to do is clip it. If I understand what you're asking correctly, what I like to do is I said clip it. You want to not clip it. So there's an option to clip, which will basically crop your point cloud as you take these cross sections. If you turn that off, and so if you're doing it in top view and then you turn that off, it won't crop your point cloud, but it will basically limit the view that it pops up in. So, but it won't actually change the number of points that are loaded right there. So it doesn't mess up your other the other croppings that you have.
Another question from Steve. Will there be more documentation on your website to export calibrated images from Regal? Yes, we plan to do that once we have the okay with Regal, which it's probably in the works or it's already done. We will add this information to our wiki. In our wiki, we have a page called TopoDOT tips. You can look at the contents or scroll down. There's a portion there that we have for exports or documentation on exports from the biggest system manufacturer, Regal, Trimble, Leica, etc. We'll probably add that information there. If not, we'll make a post on social media or something to let people know. Another question from Wyatt Peterson. Is it possible to get Navis VLX2 panoramas into TopoDOT? Unfortunately, we can't load panoramic photos in MicroStation. It's more of a MicroStation limitation than anything. But however, Navis software will split up the panos for you into individual frames and then export them in a TopoDOT compatible format that you can load into through the image browser. Let's see what else. Looks like that's it for the questions that we have. Let's let's see. There's some questions here in the review section. Let's see.
I have a question about from Terry Broomfield. Can you update Topo University application tutorial videos to include new or updated tools? Yes, absolutely. I know sometimes we get behind on some things. We come out with tools quite quickly, and it's hard to keep up with making videos and tutorials on how to run through them. But you can expect a major update within the next. I would say within the next 4 or 5 months, there should be a lot of new videos with all the new features, and so look forward to that.
Another question from Travis Taylor. One sec, we clicked the wrong button. This is the comments. Well, the question was, we'll get to the rest of the questions, but that question was, can you do undo or Control C when editing your template on the break line extraction tool? At the moment, you can't do it for the template itself. There is an undo button on the tool. It will take you to the last safe state of the template. So if you're stepping cross sections and you hit undo, it will undo to the previously saved template, but it's not like you can add points, and let's say you added a point or you removed the point and you didn't accept, hit undo, it won't do that. However, it will take you back to the last previous state. So maybe it's kind of close. But if you would like to see something like that, there is a report bug option in MicroStation that you can find. It could also help. It will direct you to a form where you can also report other things, that not just bugs, but maybe an enhancement or a documentation request or things like that. And then we'll make sure to tackle those tasks.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We look forward to talking to you more. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, an email, and we hope to see you at Tuck. And if you haven't signed up for Tuck, please look into it. Spots are filling up quickly.